for joining the San Diego ATD Get Good with Storyline Workshop. I am John Morley. I'm an instructional designer and I am an external consultant, which means I'm available to help you with a project. And if you would like me to do so, my email address is in the chat window. That's me. Who are you? If you would please take a moment to enter your name into the chat window, along with where you're logging in from. I want to welcome everyone who is registered through ISPI and other ATD chapters. Certainly appreciate you joining us, and this is, in fact, a benefit of your membership of those organizations, and certainly welcome San Diego chapter members. This is also a benefit of your membership. And I want to express my gratitude to past guest presenters such as Kevin, who are gracing us with their expertise tonight. No one knows everything about Storyline, especially me. So this is our opportunity to talk shop and share what we do know. So this evening, I'm going to be presenting recent enhancement over the past year or so, enhancements to Storyline. There are a whole bunch of them. May not get through them all, but we will go through what we can get through. Most everybody likes colors. Colors are lots of fun, and there are a lot of enhancements associated with colors. As you can see here on the left is the new and improved user dialog box thing, and this on the right is what it was previously. As you can see, if nothing else, we've moved from 12 colors to 16 colors, which gives us a lot of opportunity. But let's take a look under the hood here to see what all this does for us. If you're clicking along, just either open this or else create a image. Any image will work, and then go up at the top of the screen here, hit format, and then shape fill, and you will see the dialog box here with all kind of neat stuff to it. I'll try to make that a little bit larger. And you can see what's new here is this, you can point and click to change the color as you move this little bubble around. You can see the shape is changing color. You're also able to move the bar back and forth here, and the shape color changes. This is new. You're able to change the transparency of the image right here. If you speak hexadecimal, the hexa name of the color is right there, making it easy for you to copy and paste that from other situations. Or if you prefer speaking RGB, RGB is right there, the magic 3 numbers that can define any old color that you want. And of course, for completely lazy people, there is a little eyedropper thing that will allow you to grab another color. I don't know why that color is not picking up what it's supposed to be, but anyway, that normally works. And now down here is a really big deal here, because not only do you see the theme colors, and I encourage everyone to set up their theme colors when they're doing a project. It will save you a lot of time. You can also see something called project colors. What this is every single color that is in the current project. And because this is something that I've kind of kludged together, I've added a lot of different things into this project. You can see I have a lot of different colors. And look what happens as I scroll over these colors. All kind of neat information. The RGB, well, I can't point and point at the same time, but the RGB colors, the numbers for the RGB colors are shown, plus the name of the current palette that you're looking at. That is true whether you're looking at project colors or theme colors. Take a look at what the theme colors look at. It tells you all manner of information. And here is something that is pretty trick right here. If 2 palettes aren't enough for you, you can go down here and create a new palette. If you're clicking along, why don't you do this and see what happens? Click new palette. It allows you to, I'll just call this a test palette. It allows you to name it. Oh, okay, test. I'm gonna
Hey, John, I got a question about the project colors option there. Do you know
Yeah,
if it will allow you to select where those colors are located in the project? Because I frequently run into problems where colors are chosen or are put into a project, but that were kind of eyeball matched, and I'm trying to get
uh,
them to exactly match. And it would be great if it's possible to find, okay, where was this color used so I can adjust it accordingly. Do you know if that's possible?
I do not know, but I am guessing it's not possible. And as the very helpful people at the tech support place suggests, that you can make this suggestion to as they do an improved feature to their development
That
staff.
is an incredibly helpful feature right there, just to know where your colors are at across your project, to just be able to identify what is on and what is off. Because I get that problem all the time, all the time.
Yeah, and right off, I can't think of a way to do a search, a global kind of search. But anyway, let me get back to creating a new palette. Click new palette, and I'll just call it new palette, accept that. And now look at the little plus up here. As you click the little plus, I am now adding different colors to the new palette. I can adjust here to get a nice blue color, or I can move up here getting a nice red color, or else I could just mess around with the RGB colors and see what that does. There we go. So these are the colors on our new palette, and they're easy enough to delete. If you don't like the color, just click that and right click, you're able to remove the color. Now, the one thing that this doesn't show that was in the previous is the ability to see other colors. Here you see there's a, in the earlier version, there was an option for more colors that show you the standard color. Can't get that anymore. I don't know if that's a horrible
Huh.
problem, but that has gone away. One other thing to point out, this is what you see if you go to format and fill is going to be different from, let me go back and show the theme colors. This is where I like to spend most of my time. If you close that down, if you right click the shape and go down to format shape at the bottom of the right click menu, you see something very different. You still get the same color thing here, all 16 plus RGB plus, it doesn't look as if you can go to hexadecimal, but anyway, you can see the different palettes here, project colors, theme colors, and you also have the other gradient things and fills and transparencies. It's just configured a little bit differently, but you still have the full range of very nifty things that you can use.
Hey, John, it looks like you're using the modern player here. Is that it? But it looks like is that gradiated colors in the background? Is that a new feature, or is that just my eyes?
No, it isn't. And I'm about to get to that. That's a very good question. And it's a pretty deep question as well. This is the link that I just put in the chat window. It will bring up this information, which helps you to understand what the different themes are, the theme colors, how they're being used. And then this is a how you were able to define those colors. Again, this is the link that brings up this information. And look here, look what happened. We have two new colors with the enhancements for the
Mm.
correct and incorrect quiz feedback questions. So there's a whole bunch of stuff here. And now to address how these are being used, this is a good link here. showing how these are applied. So it shows that accent number 1 is used to fill shapes. Accent colors 2 through 6 are at your discretion. Use them any way you like. The hyperlink is cleverly used for the hyperlinks, and then the controls and the other things here are explained here how they are used. Now, this is interesting. Hours of fun here. This shows how every single little detail in the classic player is identified, named, and identified. And in the classic player, you can change the color and even do gradations on any single one of these things, which is very nice. However, you do not or never have had that opportunity in the modern player. So this is the classic player here. If you go into advanced features, you can see all of these different things. Every one of them has a little pop-out menu with other things that you just saw listed. But in the modern player, you get 3 choices. You can have a player that's dark, light, or a color that you assign, which I have done here. And in that case, you get a grand total of 2 colors. You can choose an accent color, you can choose a background color, but you cannot have hundreds of these hundreds of different colors that can be assigned to anything. So this it's a bit of a conundrum, knowing whether you want to go with the classic or the modern. Now, of course, the big deal about the modern is it creates an adaptive uh, presentation that will work appropriately on a desktop computer, on a cell phone, on a tablet, or whatever. And as I go along, you'll see that several of these enhancements work only on a modern player. So that's a kind of a good argument. Any discussion here on what what player people prefer? Any arguments in favor of classic or modern?
I've favored modern because it looks a little fresher. The classic, like the fonts seemed a little outdated, the buttons seem a little outdated. But if those are manipulatable in the classic, I would happy to be changed. I mean, I love the color aspect, but I kind of favor button and font over colors. I'd rather focus my color choices on my slides as opposed to the player. But are the buttons changeable in the classic? Can you change the font on the buttons there?
Let's see here. I think, yep, there we go. Accessibility buttons, accessibility focus rectangle. And here's the buttons on the pop-ups, and you can change just about anything anywhere. You have a tremendous amount of each and every of the little buttons here have their own secret
Nice.
entrance into the back. So
That includes the font, huh?
the font, let's see here. Let me just do this. Let's take a look at it. Okay, we are going to go to the home. We're clicking home now. We're clicking player here. And we are going to go to the good old classic. Here we go. Following features supported only. Okay, it warns us that we're about to lose. Oh, come on, classic, please. Okay. Oh, now that I have enacted some of the new enhancements, it will not even let me go back to classic. My goodness.
Is the classic gone?
No, let's see. I have background audio on, so let me turn that off. We'll be talking about that later. And see, okay, no, well, it shouldn't be. No background audio. Let's go to the player. We are going to the player. We are clicking classic. The following features which are only supported by modern player. Okay, that should take me to classic. Well, that's ridiculous.
Hey,
Let's
John,
yeah.
try
Maybe. Oh,
Sorry, try switching off the accessibility controls within the player
Okay.
and then try switching to classic. Yeah, untick that accessibility
Accessibility.
controls.
There it goes. Now we're
So try
having
that.
classic.
Nope.
We still get
Hmm.
that. No,
Okay.
let's just do this. Let's make it real simple. Go up to File, New, and get a, do we want to save changes? Sure, let's save changes. Okay, new project. Let's go to Player. Let's go to Classic. We've added a dozen exclusive features, but we don't want them. I don't want them. Classic, okay. Here we are able to color and effects. I'm clicking color and effects here. We can change the player font, all kinds of things. But let's just do something absolutely silly. So we can see
Oh, okay, yeah, that's looking nicer. I mean, with the font changes, I like that. I was not a fan of some of the fonts and button styles there before.
you can make them larger or smaller here. And here is where if you hit the show advanced color editing, oh my goodness, look at all these different things that you can get into. You can have just hours of fun here messing with all this stuff. Okay, any
Yeah,
other?
if I can ask a Oh yeah, I wanted to ask a question, and this is kind of opened up to everybody that's using Storyline professionally. How much time do you spend fine tuning and adjusting your players to your client or to whoever, or do you just kind of use the basics with minor adjustments? And or do you use like a template that you're kind of familiar with and just rely upon that. So what's kind of everybody's workflow when it comes to player choices and modifications and personalizations?
Yeah, very good question. Anybody want to jump in?
A few of the contracts that I've taken on, they provide the player with, their font, their color scheme, the whole shebang. So very little.
I would think one factor there would be whether you're internal or external. Being when I was previously working with Genentech, I didn't have any qualms at all about spending hours working out some sort of nice looking player. But when I am a hired gun cranking out stuff, what I tend to do is develop something on my own time that I like, and then I use that. If the client wants something different, they specifically want me to develop something specific, unique to them, I'll go ahead and do that. But I'm a little reluctant to lavish hours and hours of the client's time on something that might arguably not add that much to the finished product.
And that was going to be my follow up is how big of a impact does a player truly have on the end result of the e-learning? Most of the clients that I've worked with, they just want the content. They sometimes totally ignore the player as long as it's capable of getting them through the training in or the material in a with a nice user interface that doesn't look too intrusive. They're fine with it.
Oh man, that could be the entire hour right there. That's that's tough because the we don't really understand what impact this is having. A good production value lets the is a message to the learner that this is high quality stuff. Management thinks enough of it to put a lot of work into it. If a audience sees something that's just black images on a white background, the response, whether it's conscious or unconscious, is that, well, if management doesn't care any more about this to make it look decent for me, it can't be very important, so I won't pay attention. So a quite a discussion there. don't think we'll
Yeah.
resolve.
And I think that's a really valid point on why these color changes and these color themes, these new additions to storyline are really important to take notice of, because that is going to ultimately impact the learners. The look and feel, that it's on brand, that it looks professional, it's not haphazard, it isn't just template based. When it's personalized for the company or for the project, it really makes it more important for the learner. They take it more seriously and they ultimately learn better from it. So I think this is important stuff here.
Agree completely. The branding and the consistency are very critical factors. Plus, I think that the bottom line on design is the best design is the design that the audience doesn't notice. They don't see it. It's just
Yeah.
of course it's like that. That's the way it's supposed to be. I don't have to think about it. Everything's right where it's supposed to be. The colors make perfect sense. So where's the design anyway?
If nobody says anything about the color schemes and the choices, then you know you've done a good job.
Exactly. Exactly. The best design doesn't call attention to itself. Speaking of design, let's move along here. Enhancements. Over 1.5 million new stock images have been graciously, generously provided to us. And do not ask me which they are, because there is no way to tell what is new and what is legacy here. Are the images currently on the screen new? I don't know, but they're pretty, so I put them up there.
Well, I can tell you where they're getting them from. You can tell they're getting them from Unsplash, I believe. So
Unsplash.
Unsplash is luckily a
Oh,
really good site for that.
yeah. So
Yeah.
some of these things are familiar to you when you go in and take a look at the
Well, you can see
images.
them. You can see where they come from in the content library. It actually has a little note. This is from Unsplash or this is from Pexels. So yeah, you can tell where they're coming from. And I've had to go and find a particular graphic that I pulled down from Storyline and put it
Right.
into another project. And I had to search for it in Unsplash.
Uh-huh. So that would be the illustrations as well as anything else.
I don't know about the illustrations. I know it's the images though. So if you go to the image library,
Okay,
the photos,
photos.
yeah.
Let's find an image of a
And if
tree.
there, well, you look right there. It has the little
Nyko
in gray
photos
spots
on
says on
Unsplash.
Unsplash. Yep.
There it is. Okay. I didn't realize that. Well, I hope, well, I trust Articulate has done the right thing in terms of paying for these things. Okay, we are talking about triggers now. This is exciting stuff here, because even if you're not a computer coder, you can just kind of intuitively understand what an if-then statement means. If something happens or if something is configured in a certain way, then something else happens. If the next button is pushed, then you go to the next slide. If you are a coder, you might be familiar with something that has a little bit more power, an if then else statement. So if something happens, then something happens, or if that didn't happen, something else happens. Let's see, an example of that is we have a single button here, says animal. We will click animal and we get a kitty. Click the same button again and we get a doggy. Kitty, doggy, kitty, doggy. So you, in the past, this could have been done with at least two different variables, dog true or false, cat true or false, with a little bit of programming. But let's look under the hood for how this is being done right now. There is a variable going up in the upper right here, clicking the X, and we see there is a, let's make this larger, there is a dog or not variable that starts off false. So let's go back and see how that is being used. We see we set the, when the animal button is clicked, we change the state of the cat graphic to hidden. And we do the same thing with the dog graphic, G for graphic, dog for dog, and they're both hidden. And then the heavy lifting is done with this trigger right here. Change the state of graphic cat to normal when the button is clicked. If dog or not is false. Otherwise, show the dog. If variable is one way, show the cat. If not, else or else show the dog. And then that is followed by a trigger that is simply a toggle. So that true false just toggles back and forth between true and false. So this is a fairly straightforward, simple way to have this one button do two different things. Any discussion, any questions about that?
So correct me if I'm wrong. Previously, you would have to have two separate triggers for not including the toggle trigger, but two separate triggers to get that else style event to happen, correct?
Right, that's the way I would have done it. Have the you'd
Yeah.
have to have, as you just said, two separate triggers, and then this would basically be two different triggers rather than a single trigger that is two things. You would have change the state of cat to normal if the cat variable is true, and then the corresponding dog. You could do it, but you just can't do it quite as easily as this. Here's another example that may be a little bit more appropriate for learning. Say you're in a situation where you want the learner to do something or to do multiple things before they click next. If they just click next, a nag message comes up telling them you can't do that. So if they do one thing, boy meets girl, that's interesting. Now let's see if we can go next. No, nag message still comes up again. Let's see. Oh, boy, loses girl. I hate it when that happens. Oh, boy wins girl back. Thank goodness. So now we can move to the next slide. Taking a quick look under the hood. What in the world is going on here? So we see we have, yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say that is gonna be incredibly helpful because I'm a firm advocate and I try to tell all my designers and developers to program in gateways so that have like a series of questions or scenarios that somebody has to complete all of them before moving forward. And previously that required a lot of variables that would have to be created. If then, if you created three different scenarios and they had to complete each one, you have to create all these variables and have them interact. Here, looks like you can do it all in one trigger now.
Yeah, a single trigger. However, in the upper right-hand corner, we'll go to the X here and show that there are multiple variables involved. This is scene act one, scene act one, act two, act three. So they all have to, as you will see right in a moment, each time you click to see one of these, close that, one of these layers, you'll see the layer has a trigger that sets the variable to true. So it's the layer itself that sets the variable on the base layer here. This is the trigger here that does the heavy lifting. On when the learner clicks next, show the error if all of these things are false. Else, jump to the next slide. So a single trigger that does all of those things. Very slick. Any questions about that? Moving along here, we are going to go to the media library. The media library isn't new, but I think it's very nifty because it gives us a lot of information. Now, we went over the media library last month, and I just wanted to show off that what you can do is change every instance of a visual. Say you have you're a cat lover, you have three different cat images here. And now going under the hood, if we go to the, let's see, media library, up at the top, we will click view, see the view control ribbon. Over here toward the left, we see media library, click that. And let's find the cat. Here is the all kind of information on anything you select. Here's the cat. And down here, you have let's see if I can make that a little bit larger. Here we go. A little green arrow here says replace. So let's replace that and get a content library. So we'll go back to normal and let's look for since we're replacing an illustration, let's use an illustration. Go for a dog image. Here's a very noble looking canine. We'll insert him. And now take a look at what's happening over here. We'll preview the scene. And now imagine that there weren't just 3 slides with cat images, but 3 dozen or even 300. And now you can see over here that every one of the cats has now been changed. Let me go here and yeah, there we go. All of these are now dogs rather than cats. Okay, new characters. Meet Aaliyah or Aliyah or Aaliyah. Anyway, I'm sure she's a very nice person, regardless of how her name is pronounced. And let's meet Thomas, whose name I know how to pronounce. And we'll also meet Sarah. These are 3 new characters. And when you are looking at characters, they can be filtered, be put in chronological order. So you see the newest ones, which would be these 3 people. Let's take a look under the hood and see how many different poses. There are a whole bunch of different poses here. Format, design. Okay, in the far left, we are going to go to pose and see 170 different poses for Aaliyah, Aliyah, whoever this person is. And over here, this is neat. You're able to filter the poses and get exactly what you want, or you can do something very broad, positive expressions or neutral expressions or negative expressions. So you can have a lot of fun here. Let me go over to character. Okay, no, I can't do that. Oh, character, here we go. And if we filter them by newest, you see they pop up, those 3. If we filter by something else, the newest do not show up. So if you want the 3 newest, and there is a reason for wanting one of the newest, because as we will see here, going back to every one of these 3 have 3 distinct wardrobes. Look at this. We can see that Sarah is ready for the office here, or else she has the dressy casual here for maybe drinks for the ladies after work. And here's a little bit less dressed up here, appropriate for washing the dog or picking up the kids after soccer practice, or getting tattooed, or whatever it is that kids do these days.
That's incredibly helpful to have those changes of outfits, because frequently I have to telling a story in e-learning that takes place over several days, and if you're using the same character but they are all in the same clothes every single time, it doesn't really display that time is passing. So this is so helpful.
Yeah. So you don't have to cut the head off and put the head on a different. Yeah. So yeah, I think that's very helpful. Very good feature, being able to change the wardrobes for the time of day and such. Now, this is, I think, a lot of fun. This is a 360 pano here. Look, you can twist this around back and forth. You can look at the sky. You can look at the ground here. You can make yourself motion sick and have all kinds of little things here you can click on. And oops, my clickerable things don't work. Okay, there is a
Hey John,
runner.
is this in review 360 right now?
This is live. In fact, I think this is from last year, 2022. They had a enhancement that they launched something just Tuesday, I believe. So I have the Tuesday enhancement here.
Because I would love to see how you did or see this in my VR headset. And if you could send me a link, I want to see if I could put myself there instead of controlling it, where I actually look around and it would follow along. Do you know if that's possible?
Let's take well, I want to do a demo here. Let's, especially if you're clicking along, let's go up to File and click New. And oh no, I don't want to change. I want a new project. Let's make this. Now the 360 images have Pano images available, but you can't just insert them. You have to save them. So let me save you some time by sending you in the chat window. You should be able to see a Pano image as soon as it comes up. Okay, you can see the image I'm about to play with here. I think we want a 16:9 aspect ratio, so let's go up here to the design control ribbon. Over on the left, we'll click slide size, and here on the presets, we will select something that's 16:9, nice and wide. Okay. Now what we want to do is go up to the insert. We're looking at the insert, and about a third of the way over, there's 360-degree image right here. Okay. Click that, and now insert the image that you can get from the link I put in the chat window, which would be City Pano 1. Double click that. Get some kind of a nag message here. Just say, yeah, we want to do that. We know what we're doing. And here we have the image. Now it can't be edited similar to a regular old still or a video, but if you click that, you open up a whole new world of stuff here. 3 different control ribbons: marker, label, interaction. First thing to do with the interaction is decide where you want to start. So you have complete options here, what you want to come up first when the user goes to that slide. So let's go over here all the way on the left, upper left, where it says edit. The You now have a bullseye. So let's put that bullseye where that's a suitable building. Click set, and this is where the slide will come up initially when the image is invoked, or the slide is invoked. Over here on marker, you're able to add markers here. So click marker, click there, and this is, let's just call this pointy building. Just add a lorem there, and you can move this around and just continue to add markers. Call this antenna building. And then you can save and close. Oh, you can also add hotspots. The difference between a hotspot and a marker is that the user doesn't see the hotspot. They see the marker, but not the hotspot. So let's just say that's hidden hotspot. Now let's say that and see what we have. Preview this slide. So it comes up right where we told it to come up with a tag there, click on it, and you get information. And then the hotspot is, well, the hotspot is pulsating. That's interesting. So when the user scrolls over the hotspot, it then can become visible, and you can click that and get information. Any questions about the pano? 360 degrees of fun here. All kinds of wonderful things. All right, now I have to pull up my speaker support again. Here we go. Moving along to video. Lots of people like video. It's all kinds of fun. And these are many enhancements that have been done. You can now, or the user can now adjust the video playback speed, which is in the modern player only, as we discussed earlier. You can prevent skipping ahead until the video ends. And there are also streaming options now, which make it a little bit more usable for a number of different quality downloads. If the user doesn't have a uh, very broadband download, it can be set up so it looks a little bit better. Plus, a music track can be put in throughout. Very groovy. And closed captioning. Yes, I said groovy. I think music is very groovy. So let's take a look at how these things work. Let's go to, I'll pause that and go over here. In the lower right hand corner, you see a little bitty round thing here, and look at that. Playback speed can be adjusted to a quarter speed, and you can really take a look at that technique. So you can slow it down and see exactly what's happening, or else you could go over here to go twice as fast. And let's see, why aren't we seeing this? Twice as fast, go. Now you're really zipping around this thing. Okay, and we are also able to create closed captions. But before we do that, let's take a look. Let's go under the hood here and take a look at not this. Let's close that, get rid of it. No, we don't want to save that. We want to see the other thing. This is what we want to see. We want to see the video stuff. We're looking at a video now, and we can go into the player, and down here we have a lot more player controls. This allows us to go down here and add a seek bar and control the seek bar to allow the user to drag it, make it read only, or allow only to drag after completion. So I would actually suggest not using that, because there's an argument that Dorothy Parker was once on a quiz show asked to make a sentence using the word horticulture. Her sentence was, you can lead a horticulture, but you can't make her think. And she got the point for making that perfectly fine sentence. I think it's very simple. We can't really force a learner to do anything. If we force them to sit there while the video completes, it's just totally naive to think they're going to actually pay attention. What they're going to do is resent us for forcing them to waste their time. So I would suggest against this, but say you're in a situation where the client wants it done, you now have that ability. You can force the learner to see this. So the accessibility controls, we turned off before. We have captions turned on. So we will do this. And what else do we have? Streaming. You have now several, if we're up in the top now, toward the right, we're clicking publish, and take a look at this. If we go into quality, we have more options now. This adaptive is what will allow the published project to determine the bandwidth that's being used to download it and adjust for the most optimum quality here. Warning, if you use this and you try to publish it locally, won't work. The only way you can see your project is to put it in the review thing or to uh, uh, publish it to a server and then watch it on a server. Okay, I'll cancel out of that, and I am wanted to go over closed captions. The first step in putting the closed caption in is to find what is called, well, first you have to select the track, of course, and then create a file that is an SRT file. Here's what it looks like. Caption file 5. This can be opened in a regular, well, it needs to be opened in a regular notepad or any kind of text application without any sort of formatting at all. So here you see what the words are. If you're doing your voiceover from a written script in the first place, this isn't all that hard because you have all of your words written out here. If you haven't done this from a script, you're going to have to go in and type out every single word that goes into the closed captioning. And then these are the different cuts you see. You'll see how this is used in just a moment. And the numbers here are when the caption should appear. This is hours, minutes, seconds, and milliseconds. So you can see that the first one goes for 2.5 seconds, and then the second one goes from 2.5 seconds to 8 seconds, about 8.5, and so on. So this can be created in a Word file, a text file, but it needs to have this extension on it. So here we go. Let's take a look at the video here, select the video, go up to video options, and now we have an option to add captions. Click that, and you'll see this brings up the soundtrack here. And let's go up to import captions. Import captions takes us to, yes, we want to replace what's there already. This is the captions file, the SRT file I showed you earlier. Double click that and look, as if by magic, all of these captions are now inserted. Click save and close. Well, let's go on to something else that I think is exciting here. We are now able to, and this is a big deal. In the past, we were able to put a music bed in there using JavaScript, but that was kind of especially if you're nervous about using JavaScript, that doesn't work very well. And if I'm not able to preview this, I'm not going to be able to show this. Anyway, let's give it a try. Going up to the insert menu over here, audio, about in the middle of the control ribbon. Click that, and then here we have background. You can click that and then add any sort of playlist that you want by clicking the green audio from file. Okay, here's some music tracks that I have on my local drive. Click that. It downloads there. And now this will play notice that you have a couple options here. You can lower the background sound when there is audio, and you can also pause the background audio when a video is playing, so the user gets the full benefit of the the soundtrack, the music track. Let's try this again one more time with feeling. Okay. There goes our music track. Now notice when we go to the next slide, it stops because this is a video and we told it to not play music when a video is playing. If we go to here, music continues until we get to a video.
First,
when the
get off
video
your
plays,
overgloves by inverting
here
them
are
into the biohazardous waste bin.
The closed captions.
At the green laundry bin,
and you see
grasp the cuff of the sleeve.
That can also be annoying. Unfortunately, there is no way to really control that going slide by slide. So you either have it or you don't. This can be very useful, very appropriate, and more a communication sort of thing where you have short pieces and you want music all the way through. But for this type of presentation where you want to be able to control it in relationship to what's on the slide, it gets a little bit iffy here. Once you get the closed captions, what this opens up to you is a whole very exciting world of transcripts. So we'll click transcripts here.
Gives us an opportunity.
You see now in the lower right-hand corner, you have the closed caption, which you can turn on or off, and look at this little circle here. Click that, and oh my goodness, we have transcripts over here showing exactly what would have been in the closed caption. You can't have both of them at the same time, but that's just kind of cluttered. Let's take a look at that.
To actually redistribute workload. I think that's really valuable.
So I love the communication.
Everyone's so open when they see other people join their SKU deck.
Yeah, we can notice trends as well.
So is this one done?
So here the user is able to scroll up and down to see where they are in the presentation. Ooh, you can move that around. That's very fancy. So you have a lot of latitude. Once you get the text in the closed caption feature, you're able to do it either that way or both of the ways, which I think is a very nice presentation here. Any questions on how that works?
Yeah, looks like I got to jump, John, but thank you so very much. Any idea of what we're going to be doing next time around for the Get Good with Articulate topic?
Yes, next month is web objects. So we can, the entire internet is available to you for contact, and we'll talk about how that can or cannot be done. So thank you very much, Kevin. Thank you, everyone else. Let me stop sharing my screen here and see if I still have a few people hanging in here. All right, KD. Good night, Kevin. Catch you later.
No, yeah. One more quick
Sure.
question, John, before I jump. I really would love to try out that 360 picture that you set up in there in VR. I would like to see if I can make it so I can be there as opposed to just watching it. Could you send me a link to where that is? Like either it's on Review 360 or wherever, so I can try it out.
Well, that's built into Storyline right now. What I demoed is just off-the-shelf Storyline stuff. So I'm not sure how to get from there to what you're talking about.
Oh, I just wanted to get access to that as you have it made up, just so I can try it out. Not necessarily build it, the actual user, like it was like a learner e-learning access. I want to see if I can make that so it looks like I'm there as opposed to controlling it in the player.
Okay, save the chat window, and the chat window has it starts at the very opening of the chat window where it says workshop
Oh, that's the project
storyline.
file. Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. Okay. Then I'll just publish it to my own review, review 360, and try it there then.
Yeah, and I would very much like to know what you did and how you did it. This is interesting stuff.
Yeah, I just want to try to make it so that it feels like you're actually there with a VR headset as opposed to watching it on a screen. I'll see if I can make that work just for us that are in the metaverse. See if we can how much we can integrate e-learning and what are the capabilities of using e-learning here in the metaverse. So, but thanks a lot. As always, it's been great, John. I look forward to the next one. And yeah, everybody have a good night. See you next time.
Okay, thanks for your participation, Kevin. Certainly appreciate it.
Okay. Thanks, John. That's great.
Do you need to bail as well?
It's late here, so I'm going to go to bed. So.
Yeah, you're in the Eastern time zone, man. Thanks for staying up with us. I certainly appreciate
sure,
it.
No problem, John. See ya.
Oh, this is critically important. I spent about an hour figuring this out. 4-step process. If you do not set this variable, it's not going to work. So let's take a look under the hood here. Get rid of that and show that here, play video, transcripts. Let's see, go up to this. Go up to the X there. Take a look at the built-in variables. The built-in variable that says player display captions. This one right here, that has to be set to true and able to see either the captions or the transcript. So that must be set. Now, I don't know where that was set in this. Yeah. Here we go. So I adjusted that variable display captions when the timeline started. So evidently, once that is set, the charm of a variable is that it carries over to everything else in the project. So that is what I have for this evening. I thank you all for joining us, and I hope that you were able to log in again next month when we will be going over web objects. Any final questions?
I have one question. I'm
Yes,
trying
sir.
to expand my instructional designer tool set, and I'm trying to figure, is Articulate something I should invest in? And if so, how much would that cost me to do it?
Well, you can get a free sample. You can get it for 30 days, but hold on to your wallet. This is $1,000 item. And not once, but every year.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Now, they do sell, you can do a one-time purchase of Storyline 3 now for, I don't, it's probably pretty darn close to $1,000, but you don't get that library we were talking about of literally millions of images and videos, and you don't get the characters and you don't get the enhancements. Of course, every year or so they will build into the release all of the enhancements that have gone into the Storyline 360. So you have Storyline 360, which is everything new all the time.
Right.
But that's $1,000 a year. Yeah, and it's pretty much the option of choice throughout the industry. So get the job and talk your employer into having it. But if you're marketing yourself as a person who knows Storyline, they would hire you because they already have Storyline and they need somebody to use it.
Okay.
That would be the way to do it. But come back next month and we'll make you even smarter about this. And,
hey, I'm always, opportunities to learn anything is always great. So thank you for your time. I know it's been great learning this, so I appreciate it.
okay, thank you for joining us. I appreciate it.
All right, have a good night. Thank you.